What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with some mythic gameplay footage. Finally made it. As you can see, I hit mythic at 95%. I have not played another game since. I just hit mythic and took a little break. So these will be my first games in mythic. And as promised, the Jankening can begin. I will be playing a series of decks that I like to call serious jank, you know, the kind of jank that gets you wins. And the first deck in this series is one that I'm calling the Hall of Mirrors. And it is a spirits deck. We're testing out the new disturb mechanic from Crimson Vow. So in Midnight Hunt, we had creatures that came back as spirits. In Crimson Vow, we have spirits that come back as auras. So without further ado, let's jump into the brew. We've got 4 copies of the Ascendant Spirit, which is a 1/1, but you can dump mana into it in stages, and it has to be done in this order. So first you pay 2, it becomes a Spirit Warrior with base power and toughness 2/3. Then you can pay 3, and it becomes a 4/4 Spirit Warrior Angel. And then you can pay 4, and it becomes a 6/6. So you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage, you draw a card. So, of course, really, really good card. It is our reason for running snow lands. If we can ever get it to the point where it's a 6/6 that draws us cards, that is, of course, great. And you can keep paying that 4. And keep putting additional +2/+2, 2 +2 +1/+1 counters on it. So this can get huge and draw us cards. So really, really good. Next up, we're running 4 copies of Fading Hope. This is just to bounce the opponent's creatures. Of course, the best target for this is a creature token, because it's not going back to the opponent's hand. It's just gone for good. And the additional ability to scry if the thing that you bounced has a mana value of 3 or less is great. Next up, we're running Clarion Spirit, of course. And it's good to have these 8 cheap spells, so we can often trigger the second spell on Clarion Spirit and create lots of little 1/1 flyers, which of course will all get buffed later once we cast our Patrician Geist. But more of that in a second. Next up, we're running 4 copies of Fateful Absence. Say what you want about the card. It is the only way that we can remove creatures or planeswalkers, just hard removal like that, in white or blue right now. And so I'm running a full play set. Don't forget, of course, that you can save your own creatures with Fateful Absence from exile effects. This is a disturb deck. If our creatures, like Dorothea, end up in the graveyard, get exiled and don't end up in the graveyard, then we cannot cast them for their disturb cost. So if the opponent is targeting your disturbed creatures with an exile effect, you can also use Fateful Absence on your own creatures, then you get the clue. Pretty nice. Next up, we're running 4 copies of Spectral Adversary. This is an essential card in the deck, in my opinion. It's kind of helping us with those tempo plays. It is so versatile. I had a game during testing where I flashed it in. So basically, you flash this thing in, you can pay 2 mana any number of times. And when you do that, you can phase out that many targets. And it doesn't just target creatures. It's artifacts, creatures, and or enchantments. In the example I was just talking about, I flashed it in and I phased out the opponent's Unnatural Growth, the enchantment that doubles the opponent's creatures' powers and toughnesses at the beginning of each combat step. I flashed that in before the combat step and phased out the Unnatural Growth, and his creatures didn't get the doubling, and that actually won me the game. So really, really versatile card. Of course, you can flash it in and save your own creatures from sweepers. You can flash it in and phase out the opponent's creatures before they attack and stop them from coming in. You can flash it in before your creatures attack and phase out your opponent's blockers. Super, super versatile and great tempo card in a deck that is trying to make these little tempo plays incrementally until a point at which we can... We'll get there. I'll get there. The jank is coming, I promise. Next up, Dorothea, Vengeful Victim. A 2-mana 4/4 flyer? What? Okay, it does have a downside. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you have to sacrifice it at the end of combat. So usually I just play it out on turn 2, turn 3 I attack, and then it ends up in my disturb zone, and I can cast it on turn 4 onto whichever creature I choose. And it has a really low disturb cost, so really easy to do. The disturb side is incredible. Dorothea's Retribution. Whenever a creature attacks that is enchanted with this thing, it creates a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking, which you sacrifice at the end of combat, but that's crazy amount of damage. You can have this on your Patrician Geist, and every time it attacks in the air already, then it creates another 4/4 that's also in the air and attacking. The amount of damage output can get crazy with this thing. Next up, our second disturb card in the deck, Katilda, Dawnhart, Martyr. 3 mana, 1 colorless, 2 whites for a Spirit Warlock that has flying and lifelink. So lifelink, very important, is the only lifelink we have in the deck, so it is our way of gaining a little bit of life. It has protection from vampires, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of permanents you control that are spirits and or enchantments. Since all of the permanents we control are either spirits or enchantments, this thing can get huge, and the lifelink can be really relevant. As usual, the backside kind of does what the front side does as an aura, so we can enchant a creature and give it flying, lifelink, and X plus X, where X is the number of permanents you control that are spirits or enchantments. Oh, pretty sweet. Next up, we have another little tempo card. It is the 3 mana counter spell from the set, and this one is spirit themed. I definitely want to test it out. It's probably not as good as just a sword coming or something like that, but it can be cast for as little as 1, because it costs 1 less to cast for if you control a spirit and 1 less to cast if you control an enchantment. As we often have board states where we have both of those things on the board, this thing can counter a target spell unless its opponent, the opponent pays 3, or its controller pays 3 for as little as 1 mana at instant speed. So, of course, this becomes horrible in the late game because the opponent's always going to have that 3 mana to pay, but we're not trying to go very late with the deck. So let's see how the card performs. We might end up flipping it out for just a sword coming or some other counter spell, maybe even just another bounce spell like a Divide by 0 or something like that. And as usual, any adjustments we make to the brew during the gameplay footage, we will make sure that the adjustments reflected in the video description down below, as well as in the other hub for you guys to copy and enjoy. Next up, we've got 4 copies of the Patrician Geist. Now, this is the main card of the deck. We're trying to copy this card. Here comes the Jank, okay? What we're trying to do with this Jank Lord's dream of a card, the Mirrorhall Mimic, is to copy the Patrician Geist as many times as possible. Other spirits you control get +1/+1. Of course, that stacks, and then spells from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast, so your disturb cost is reduced. If we can start copying this thing a lot, and we've got even just a few of these little spirit tokens from the Clarion Spirit, or anything else in play, the stacking of this +1/+1 starts to get really, really good, really, really quick. And the backside of Ghastly Mimicry is just ridiculous. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. So if this is on Patrician Geist, at the beginning of your upkeep, you make a copy of Patrician Geist every single upkeep. It gets crazy. I've had it in testing go off. I really, really hope we get it to go off tonight during the gameplay footage, especially in Mythic. I really, really hope we can get it to happen. But the last card that we might want to copy with the Mirrorhall Mimic is actually the Dreamshackle Geist, which is another great little tempo card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you choose 1, tap target creature, or target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So, for example, opponent swings in with a Goldspan Dragon that's got haste, he just played it, it's tapped. Played a Dreamshackle Geist, target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. You just keep it tapped down for the rest of the game. Or, I mean, all of our stuff has flying except for the Clarion Spirit. So it's usually okay. We're just flying over the opponent's stuff. But if it's the type of player that has reach or their own flyers, then the ability to tap target creatures during combat, pre-combat, is really, really useful. So sometimes we might be making some copies of the Dreamshackle Geist and not just the Patrician Geist. But that's the deck. That's the deck. Really simple. We're just trying to copy loads of Patrician Geist with the Ghastly Mimicry, and that's going to buff all of our spirits, and we're going to fly in the air and destroy the opponent that way. And we've got all these great little tempo cards: Fading Hope, Spectral Adversary, Geistlight Snare, Dreamshackle Geist. They're going to help us get there. I haven't adjusted the mana base much because I wanted to make sure that there's always going to be snowlands for the Ascendant Spirit. But we'll probably add in the usual sort of one of each of the creature lands, maybe a couple copies of... Actually, I don't think creature lands in this deck. I don't want any tap lands if possible. It's already bad enough that we're running the Glacial Floodplain. We might just do this. Oof. Yeah. Where's the new one? I prefer the new one. There we go. All right, so let's jump into some games. At this point in my videos, as usual, as I'm queuing up for my first game of the day, is when I like to do a little bit of self-promotion. So if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, kindly consider doing so. We are 1 subscriber away from hitting my 400 subscriber milestone. So please help us get there. We're going to be doing a live stream where I'll be wearing a series of hilarious wigs and playing viewer decks. So yeah, help us get there. It should be a jolly good time. First game in Mythic, 96%er, Endless Summer. Okay. Of course, don't forget to do all that other good YouTube stuff. If you could be so kind as to leave a comment, like the video, and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of future daily uploads. Dimir. Zombies. That's pretty nice. I mean, if he doesn't have removal, we can already just put it straight onto the Geist. No blocks here. Or do we go mimicking already? No, I'd rather keep up some mana for the Fateful Absence if we need it. Crazy damage. I mean, that's just game if they don't have some interaction. Okay. I wonder. You can still exploit, but I won't get the... I do. Got him. I was perfectly timed. I was worried I wouldn't get the... He was trying to counter the triggered ability of the Dorothea. Game 1 in Mythic, baby. That's going to set the tone. Let's keep that ball rolling. On to the next match. Booyakasha. Man, that Dorothea is potent. So potent. Of course, the game could have gone completely differently if the opponent just had one one removal spell on my Geist, but we got lucky. That was sweet. Another 96er. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great. It's probably going to be Izzet turns. I have a sneaking suspicion. Okay, no. Cruel. Nice. Jund. Interesting. Ooh. It punches in hard, this deck. It's just now it's when we start to run into trouble, you know. If the opponent has any removal, then kind of coming back is going to be a little bit tougher. I wish I had blue source, because this is when I would want to have my counter spell ready. But we've been a little bit unlucky with the lands. Probably like a Moonveil Regent. Instrum Predator. Okay. We've got the counter spell. That's a problem. Well, no. He needs to pay 3. If you recast the Immerstrom, it's gone. It's gonzo. What you gonna do? Oh, baby. That is just too sweet. Back-to-back wins. Serious jank. Like I said, the kind of jank that gets you wins. that Mirrorhall Mimic is... We've only just started to scratch the surface of the jank potential of that card. I just cannot wait to bring you some more. I've got a few ideas actually, but my real challenge over the next couple of days is going to be using Disturbed from Crimson Vow and Disturbed with Midnight Hunt into one cohesive deck. I know it's there, it has to be. I know that they wouldn't have designed the sets that way, where they just don't fit. That's a mulligan for sure. Alright. We can play everything in our hand with what we've got, but... Ooh. Probably the absence, yeah. Turn 1 duress, baby. Counterspell ready. Oh baby, that feels so good. Oh no! That's disastrous. No, wait! Oof. Did not want to pay Ward 3. Would have switched to nighttime there. Humiliate, huh? That's nice. Oh no, Dorothea! That's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. What a top deck. It's really bad against this opponent. So, if we swing, we go to 14. He swings back with 7, 8, 9, potentially 10. It's fine. We're still in the game, and then we might be able to double cast next turn with whatever we draw and the Clarion Spirit we have in hand. Full swing. Down to 4. Oh, that's a disaster. If it's removal, we'd lose. If it isn't, we win. It's nighttime! Yes! I'll just block the 5/5 and then we win. The 6/6. Oh no, he's gonna give it lifelink! That is just game-ending stuff right there. I forgot about the lifelink. Ollenbach is scored, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Still in the game. Ah. Man, this is terrible, 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 terrible. I think Ooh. And we lose. So close, guys. Ugh. Good game. I'll be a gentleman and take it. Interesting build. Sort of mono white aggro, splashing black for some hand hate and things. Nice deck, opponent. Ishkana. Well played, well played. On to the next one. Out of water. What's it gonna be? Joss X91. Nope. That's not gonna do it. Neither is that. Oh dear. This is turning into an absolute nightmare. Oh. What a nightmare. What a horrible set of mulligans. I think the mana base does need some adjustment. Oh, come on, deck. What is that? This is gonna be werewolves. Yeah. Okay. Next match. That is just nuts, man. When that kind of stuff happens, it's so tilting. No land hand. Wrong land hand. One land hand. Polygon. That's clever. A little bit better. Boom. Okay. Magecraft player detected. Grab a bounce card. No. Man, third Leonin Light Scribe in the top 10 cards of your library. Nice, mate. Lucky you. I'm gonna flash in the adversary. Opponent scoops it up. That was sweet, man. That was just epic. Straight into the next one. So far, so good, man. We've lost one match in Mythic due to unlucky draws, but every game we've actually played out, we won, so... Oh no, sorry, I lost one against the white guy, the Orzhov guy there. Bankrupt Bodega. Okay, Dreamshackle Geist making an appearance. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, yay. The enemy. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how we're going to do against this deck. I want to make those spirits. So we're going to go Clarion Spirit, Fading Hope. Next turn. Maybe Syncopate might be good instead of the Geistlight Snare. Nah. Okay, so he got a red source, which is cool. There's nothing... I mean, he could have a shock. Play with fire or something like that. It's got something. Oh no, he could... He's... We've already got one Mimic. That's enough for now. There's the Battle for Bredgard, or no, what's it called? Sorry, that's the wrong name. The Giants only sweeper that does 4 damage. That could be a big problem. I think we hold up our counter spell. Make a play next turn when we can both play maybe a Geist and hold up a counter spell, but this... Sorry, no learning for you. Haha. Sure. Opponent. There's out an egg. Sure. It's the best player we have. There's not much else I can do. At least we can start copying the Geist next turn if he doesn't kill it. spend my time putting out these little candles while the opponent thinks. Here. I mean, it's probably too much to ask. That the opponent doesn't have any kind of interaction or removal, but if he doesn't, it's GG. He's trying to get to the point where he... He's got the mana, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first time I've played against this. Oh no. That's game. Can you imagine? How lucky. Oh, man. That's just destroyed us. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. The bastard. One more land would be great. Okay. That's just game over. This card is disgusting. I actually really hate it so much. There's no point in me even playing now. It's just ridiculous. This new combo here is just Hullbreaker Horror, Liar, Disciple of the Drowned. Like, it's gonna haunt my nightmares, I promise you. This is stuff made of horrors. It is a Kraken horror after all. Just wow. Okay. On to the next match. Well done, opponent. I think that's really busted. It's probably one of the best finishes for control decks in recent memory. Like, just wow. You need it's harder than Coma to deal with. You need to have that spell like ready, or it's just overs. Okay. I'd forgotten how sweet the art was on these Eldraine forests. Uh-oh. It's gonna be a Wrenn and 7 in here. And the... Wrenn and 7 and Seeker's Chariot coming my way. This is the riskiest moment for Katilda before we can make her a little bigger. Let's hope he whiffs. Let's hope he whiffs. Yes! It's mostly a whiff. I mean, wow, an augur. He doesn't even have the coven assembled. He's starting the damage early. Oh, this is just such a sweet little synergy. We can do... Oh, wow. Ow. Ouchie. That hurts, like, big time. He's got Coven now. He might cast something off the top of the library. Oh no. Nice, man. Cool deck. That's... Wow, 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 wow. Alright, well, I was hoping to end on a win, but what can you do? The opponent's got a really, really sweet deck. Well played. Holy cannoli. I mean, this must be his god draw. He's got the mana to then keep going. Well played, opponent. Wow. That's a board state and a half for one turn. Holy crap, loads. That is next level. A 34-34. Sure. Let's just get in for a last swing for fun. Nah. Undo. As if that does anything. Wow. Really cool deck from the opponent. Alright, well, couple of really sweet victories, couple of punishing blows with an inevitable loss, but definitely a pretty sweet version 1. Not as janky as initially thought. We'll definitely need to continue tinkering in the lab with this archetype. As I said, I would like to fuse together the Disturb mechanic from Crimson Bow and the Disturb mechanic from Midnight Hunt into one deck and see if there's something there, and I think there is. So stay tuned for that. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll be coming back at you tomorrow with some fresh brews. I got some stuff lined up already. So I'll see you all then. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.